All right, we got paired. Shining sky. Even got a move. All right, so what's our dealio today? Let's go into them. The unholy Sicilian. In instant unbalancing. Should I play something else here? That's e6, e6, d6. Something else. Let's try something else. No, I don't want to go into that nonsense. All right, so we get the delayed Alapin, where white has tricked me to playing knight c6. Does that matter? We go d5. We could still go here, knight f6. Let's go to d5 anyways. They could go here still. Oh, but then I'd probably take here. They can go here. Battery. Also hit the pawn here. Except I am on the knight, so probably can't do that, yeah. Yeah, I could just take the knight there, right? Yeah. Alright, so there is not really any alternatives to taking back here. Otherwise I'd have to move the knight and it just makes no sense. Queen chops here. And now the downside of course, the c3 and the Alapin in general is that the pawn stands where the knight would probably want to go whenever black gets the queen d5. I mean, usually black has to eventually move the queen again anyway, so white will get his tempo at some point. So, like this would probably, I mean, I think that's a line, right? Chop, chop, and instantly go e5. Keep on putting a lot of pressure here, there, something. We could play e6 here. You have to be always a little wary of the c5, d5, c4, d5, but e6 stops that, kind of. Or does it? Not really. We could just take and play e6 too. Or go for the bishop g4 stuff. Send c4, queen e5, bishop e takes. I mean, even that looks fine for white. Takes here. Even if he gets the double. My queen is a little bit silly there. I'm not really sure, remember this really well, but I think this is a proper line. Is it the line I enjoy playing? Not really, no. Not really, no. Pin the knight, try to get some extra time with the queen here to decide where are we gonna go. How does this line even actually go? I don't remember. Like bishop d2 breaks the pin, questions this. I have to take, maybe they'll take with somebody and then we'll. Is it like bishop d2 takes e4, knight e5, knight takes, pawn takes, queen. Yeah, that's the line. I'm not super big fan of that, but I do have to probably take, right? Because if I don't, they'll probably push there. And then I have to do something unpleasant with my knight. Move it. I don't want to move it. Of course, I don't really fancy giving up my bishop either, but for the greater good, it has to go. Opponent is going to have a bishop pair. We are going to be able to make their knight move. Is that a big deal? Probably not, since I have to probably take it anyways. I think this ends up in a kind of weird situation often where we both have this like pawns that have like switched places. I have a pawn here, they have a pawn here, and then both are a bit hard to defend because of course the other pawn is kind of restricting any kind of a movement there. All right, so here I think this has to be done just because white is threatening to do nasty things here. Real nasty things. So this is some kind of theory which I haven't played this in a while. I used to play this a lot, but haven't done in a while. So I think we go here. And then I don't know, there's a bunch of lines, but I think bishop b4 is one of them. We just defend our queen with the tempo, so if I take, of course, they get the rook to the d file and they have the bishop pair, and well, it's just overall a little bit unpleasant. This is gonna be unpleasant anyways, though. This is a little murky line. I'm not the greatest fan. Bishop e2, though. I guess still same dealio that if I take the rooks there. So if I castle, they play bishop b4, pinning this. Like, oh, then I can take probably the pawn, right? Defend backwards. I think that's the main reason why usually people play here or somewhere else like here. Maybe even is there a line at some point? I think it is. Is it after the castles? It is not a check after the castles though. I don't know why I could not castle. And if they take here, then we take, and then we are on the bishop, and can't go here to harass our rook and win these guys anymore. And like I said, if he instantly goes there, I'll take the pawn. Queen a4. I think I have time to just move there. I don't know, maybe that's actually the line, right? Bishop e2, castles, queen a4. Well, maybe we'll see something magical here. My opponent has been disconnected. You can claim victory in 67 seconds. I hope not. It took me like 16 years to get this game, so I don't know. Do I want to win it on a technicality? Not really, no. It's more important to get some quality games than just artificial rating dump. Not that I have not known to claim a win. No, he's not there anymore. Okay, he's back. And he's castled. Well, now we are definitely... Well, bishop e6 looks pretty natural. Bishop d7 question mark. Then if I play bishop d7, then the bishop here might work because I can't take this anymore without dropping the bishop here. Like I would probably wish to go there and there. I still don't think I want to take and bring somebody here. Even though I could take, then go here. Bishop here, we could get here, and the back rank's no longer a problem because the other rook is guarding it. I mean, it's technically possible, but I don't know why I couldn't go here first. What's the well, sometimes like I guess there's an argument against this is that it does kind of block the queen e6. And sometimes this guy lacks some squares, but like in this line. This goes here and this needs to go here and... But I don't know. Queen a4. I suppose we can meet it that in some way. Is that actually true? Like if I move knight c6, this rook comes here. This is defended by this rook and queen is actually trapped, except I have this square. Bishop is not here. So queen here, queen here. Oh, the bishop here, queen here. I guess that my dark part is quite dark, so you probably can't see what I'm doing. So let's use the yellow arrows. I turned the darkness down a little bit. Or turn it a little more darker blue. Not sure it's a good or bad idea. It was late at night, so not sure that's the greatest color combo during the day. Bishop here, queen a4. What do we do? Knight c6, rook f here. There is no bishop here. I guess if I move here, 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 rook here, queen here, he can at least take the pawn here. Yups. Should we like actually chop there before he goes there? I'll play the bishop here. I mean, that was the problem with that. And then if I take this, there's a bit of a double attack going on. I mean, this would solve a lot of problems. And I can get out of there. Except is it like there? Let's say there. I'll go here, there, there, and there. Then I could just move the knight in between, right? It wouldn't really matter too much if, because it takes, then it's gonna be opposite colored bishops, and I can like slide the bishop between the pawns and everything is hunky-dory. I'm not sure about this move, but or in general is the queen trade. I guess I could retreat here. Let's think about a little more. Every arrow I move is like different color because it takes 2 key presses to make a yellow arrow. But I understand the green arrow doesn't really show up at all. At least on my monitor. It looks almost as murky as the board. I'm burning way too much clock here. So here, instantly retreating, out of sight, out of mind. Keep the queens on or off. Like who has the better chances of attacking in this position? Queen here, bishop here. Rook e8, unpinning. Takes, I suppose is fine. How about the bishop here? We just go here anyways, right? But how could I have like any kind of advantage in endgame like this? I'll retreat away, out of the sight, out of mind. Right? I have a really hard time getting out with this bishop. Not sure I like this setup. Like, I don't know. Maybe we're on the way there. And of course, maybe they could even play there. Come on. Make yellow arrows. Yellow and blue are pretty good colors. Except they're the colors of the Swedish flag. And who likes Sweden? Hello from Finland, Sweden. Yeah. I guess we could go here, and stuff here, but the bishop is gonna harass me, right? I think the good part is that to do stuff, he has to probably move the queen at some point. Also, I don't know why I was even thinking about this move, because we are pretty well covered there. Pretty well covered there. I don't know. It's a weird position, and it's not at all obvious to me, like what would be obvious plans. I guess white could somehow play f3 at some point too. Or something checkmate. If I go here, he's definitely gonna say checkmate. I don't know. Also, he's 100% certainly hitting my sad pawn. If I go here, the pin is unpleasant, but maybe I have a like in-betweener here, and then... Oh wait, I can always just go here and take these guys anyways. There's no time to take my rook if the queen's hanging. I don't know. Let's go here. Unless I'm somehow like just read this into some kind of a horror show in somewhere. There, I'll take bishop here. Still every color arrow comes out. I'm randomly pushing Control, Shift and Alt here. Draw arrows, and somehow it's very hard to do it Control Alt at the same time and draw a yellow arrow. Keep pressing Shift or Alt makes a blue arrow, and Control makes a red arrow, and Shift makes a apparently red arrow too. And no key presses the green arrow. But if you push... What's the color of this? Okay, Control and Shift together is also a red arrow. But Control and Alt together is the yellow arrow. A little lesson into how to operate liches on the side. Also, you can do the colors in the screens, or the circles too. Apparently, Alt and Shift is also yellow arrow. Alt alone is gonna be Pluto. So, is this actually a problem? There. Trying to distract my little poor ponyo or the queen. Probably not. I could have maybe gone there and been fine, question mark. Alright, so we could dislodge the queen. The point there I think is that they're hitting this, and if I go here, they'll just drop back here and then are hitting this twice. So we could go there. I don't know. And then maybe stick the bishop there. This is coming problem, like I go bishop, queen, knight c6, queen goes there. If I drop the bishop here, they're gonna move their bishop, and then how do we deal with this guy? I guess I don't have to put the bishop there. I could go straight up here. Have it covered. Knight is like... Only point of going there would be to hit the queen out of here. But it's not like it's completely dominated by the bishop instantly. Can't jump anywhere. I don't know why I'm even trying to draw arrows or squares anymore. It's a complete mess today. I still kind of want to kick this guy out. Because this definitely makes me very nervous. Maybe I'll just take the bishop here. Even though somehow this looks like the natural squares for me. Just to keep this guy blockaded by the pawn, but I have a hard time defending this, so I don't know. I don't know. But the bishop here would have been a decent chance too, maybe. I guess he would have still done the same here. Yeah, probably. Suppose if I could go here and just hit his pawn first. Of course, my back rank's a complete disaster here. So taking something like after he moves there, I'll take, and they don't know. They'll take here and do some kind of a horrible pins around here. Even if I take. I guess I could, but yeah, this is gonna work out very badly because F4 and yeah. All right, I'll just go there. It's a somehow cursed way to defend the pawn. You can maybe even like do a bishop maneuver here. I guess I'll do this now that I have the back rank a little better covered. Rooks are connected. What I mean. Usually a big factor in your king safety. All right. Oh. Well, I guess I'll do it anyways. If the point is to go here, I'll just slide between. I'll just slide between. Not sure I'm threatening anything here, but because I can't really move the queen, can I? Let's slide between. Right. Back rank safety compromised. Guess the knight is here covering something. But again, start to see kind of a traffic jam here. H3, G4s become actual threats. At the moment we are threatening to take this twice and win a pawn. And also we are maybe threatening this pawn here, which we probably cannot take because he's lining up here. Disgusting. Well, also the rook spin to the queen, so I really cannot take. I don't know, I'll play h5. Why h5? Because, I don't know, stops this this mess here in advance, even though it's a weak pawn too. But I was thinking that, well, he can't really attack it easily, can he? No. If he goes for these guys, then I can chop these. Not threatening anything at the moment, though. Not threatening anything at the moment, though. Well, that sucks a bit. Because if I move the rook, I lose the queen. Do I have to take here? That sucks a lot, to be honest. That sucks a lot. Alright, question. How does he retake? Both make sense. Make a big passed pawn or hit my queen. Both are a bit unpleasant. He does it this way. I was thinking I could maybe slide between, because I definitely have some problems where to stick my queen into. Let's do it this way. Of course, a ridiculous double pawn here, whatever. But somehow we are struggling, but still alive. Yeah, this is definitely the reason I don't like this variation too much. It's I don't know, it's just not natural for me how to play this. I end up on this kind of mess all the time, and pretty much why I switched off here. The e5 against the Alapin, or d5 e5. I don't know, maybe we are still fine, but just like, it's not fun. I don't like this kind of stuff. It's freaky. Very murky. I do like my knight now though. Even though it's not really going anywhere, but it's kind of keeping things together. Maybe someday we'll snipe a pawn there. I could go there and there. If I'm gonna keep this light board color, so I don't really have to look at what to do with or maybe look at changing the arrow colors. Sadly, Lead just doesn't allow that like easily, but you can always customize some style sheet somewhere and mix things up. Of course, all your customizations are gonna always break something at some point. All right, so is this a mess? This is a bit weak against something like here. But White has now very compromised back rank here. I feel like he should play h3 or something. But if he does, then I'm instantly getting on this pawn here. I don't know. He does that. Well, technically we could probably play b6. Also maybe rook d8, but then he just chop, and I don't know if I can do anything about that. Of course we could go for this and take this. Plausible. He has some cover on the back rank too. The bishop and the queen are covering this square, so it's not like I can just threaten like this. Maybe he could take here and check block there. b6 is so stupid, annoying though. I'm undermining my knight. If it just attacks it somehow, like here or there. I guess on c7 because that's this square too. Where do I stick my knight? I don't want to go here, but maybe I have to. b6, so ugly. Ay, ay, ay. What else could we do? Like really sad rook b8. Rook b8. Rook f8. Let's chop the pawn. Go here. I don't know, it's probably too far. It's not threatening anything, that's the problem. You can just move the queen. I was thinking of pushing the pawn and doing stuff here, but nah. Okay, I'll do this. I'm not happy, but I'll do it. I'm not happy, but I'll do it. Also, taking this pawn is like, I don't know. I was thinking about it, but now that I think about it more clearly, it opens this bishop up here and the pin is super unpleasant, super unpleasant. All right, so I don't know. I'll go here because I don't really want to get doubled pawns there. Can't go here. Can't really, well, I can defend it, but then I drop this pawn and I think it's instantly almost dead. This way, at least things seem to be all protected for now. Famous last words, but if I don't see it, it doesn't exist. I don't know, I would love to go to this square, for instance. But we can't easily. Oh, I don't know, f5. Here we are, I mean, technically we could aim at a5, but it's not as good as d5. Still think they should do h3 at some point. Or I don't know, maybe even queen trade offer and just say that their rook is a monster compared to my messed up pieces back on the back rank. I can't really sidestep that because of the mates here. I guess I could sidestep here, bishop here though. The exact mate. No good. And also my pawns are probably a lot more worse than his. Not gonna deny, but the main problem is gonna be the rook though. Alright, so they're lining up somewhere. Where? Who the frick knows? Let's go here. I don't know what's the point, but this is my move. At least I'm now kind of like lining up here. Not sure about that. Also, not fixing the back rank is like just asking for it. Giving me some chances, like just move it. Do it, do it. I guess he could go here. I guess he could have gone there instantly too. Also, we could maybe now threaten stuff around here too. Horrible. I don't know, maybe their idea was to go around here, but that's like I said, with that kind of a back rank, and that is very, very freaking risky. I don't know, maybe h4. Stop the knight jumps. Of course, h4 is a bit vulnerable to stuff. Except probably if I go there, they can go here. I don't want to make the colored arrows all the time. But the green is so weak. I guess if I go here, he can always block. He can always block, like maybe h3, just this and that. And the queen is gonna be, if I take, the queen goes here, and it's again pretty dominant queen versus mine. That is, well, it has some influence here, but like maybe I could go knight there and threaten h3, for instance, if he plays there. Good part is he's getting low on time too. This is my time usage pretty much. I get low on time. Eventually my opponent spends the time in more important parts of the game. Probably a little better time usage than mine, that I think about nonsense in the opening phase instead of just move. But then I end up in horrible troubles. Not that I did not end up in horrible troubles in this case too. So if I go here, they'll chop there. I don't know, I could. The problem is that this is like a one move threat though. It's not really threatening anything except the stupid fork. I could go here. It would be better move. He might swap the rooks. Like, but how does he stop this? Moves the king. Possible. Let's do one move threats. Usually a very bad idea, but what can you do? If here, I'm gonna go here. Let him take here because I have this threat here. I don't know, maybe this was better, but I'm still not sold on the f5 being the thing where it needs to be. Also, maybe f3 should have been considered at all points. Even though I can still block, and even if f takes it, that's not a mate threat anymore. You can make invisible arrow movements. Alrighty, I mean, still a possibility. I'll go here. I don't know. Squeeze. Even though it's protected. If h4, might have to retreat back. Maybe instead of this, I should have just dodged out the king, because knight was covering this. I guess if it bites h4, I go back here. Still don't understand how my arrow colors keep changing all the freaking time. Anyways, I'm happy with this pawn being here. Like I said, at some point I thought about winning it, but it's blocking this, and if I won it somehow, my pawns are still doubled isolated pawns. But somehow I made the bishop monster if I won it. I'm not saying that I could have won it anyways, but thingamabobs and stuff. And now I could go back and threaten to win it. Horrible. I have to move though. I have to move. I have to. Let's push the pawn. Like maybe I'll wanna go there. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I'm kind of forcing him to maybe to make a good move anyways. Yikes. Yikes. Well, let's go here. Maybe I'll chop here, even though I'm not really threatening it, so... That was probably dumb as it comes. I dropped the pawn probably for free. I don't know, let's maybe play... Say that was a bait and go rook d8. It was not planned, or not saying that rook d8 is so great, but... Here I was thinking that maybe I could now go here. Could also maybe go here and threaten those knight moves and the rook moves there. This seems safer though. I'm gonna do it. I have to take with the king or the knight though. If he checks, I'll side there. I think with the king. Why not? Keep the queen kind of active there, and the knight still... I guess knight move would have instantly put the pressure on the pawn though. Since it's not doing much there. Well, these things are getting interesting for sure. I don't know, they should maybe try to move the bishop to get to the a-pawn, which now drops with check, but... Also, it's kind of far away from the action on the king side. Ooh, that's a good move. I don't think I can go to an endgame. Not true. Maybe I can. Let's go here, because this guy is gonna die if he takes twice, right? I don't know, it's smart to go up with the king, but that's what we did. Okay, I'll squeeze the pawn. Again, I'm not sure that's the smart pawn to take, but like I said, the bishop becomes decent if I do. Actually, I don't think I can take it. Fudge. Fudge, 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 fudge. Let's repeat a little bit, get some more time. Wait, why can't I take the pawn straight up though? Now that I think about life. Of course I made the bishop great again, but at least the knight is not pinned like if I took it with the knight and then these guys would be that way. Oh. Oh, that kind of sucks though, doesn't it? Ay, ay, ay. Did I miss this kind of a mess? Oh, let's not lose on time. Maybe I'll take this pawn, even though we chop a lot of pawns there. Alright, he takes there. I'll take this, because I don't mind losing the e-pawn with check. Even though I know this is now lost. If 4 was something I didn't see. Like maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I'll come squeeze here. I have to be very careful I don't step into a light square. Or like a dark square, sorry. Allow some discovery. F4 is probably still fine. Alright, that is risky though. That is very risky. Wonder if this is actually doable endgame. I don't know though. I don't want to trade. It looks like it might hold, but I have no time to actually evaluate that nonsense. Do I? I'm stopping that check here. That's a move. Can I go for this? Probably. Oh, I don't know if I can actually. Oh, okay, that's good. Yes, the check still there. At least I'm covering this, so I'm not losing that with check. I'm on this pawn here. I'm on that pawn there. I have this square covered too. So you can't squeeze closer easily. Yeah, I don't want to get checked here, so stay here. I mean, okay, that is actually would have been a checkmate threat there. Ah, yeah, it's probably gonna be again. I mean, bishop f6 was winning though. Bishop f6 was winning though. Okay, that's gonna lose to a checkmate. Can kind of farm my pawns away. All right. Ah, that was so stupid. Let's look at from the top. All right, so this is all theory assume. Yes, e4, knight here, knight there, knight e7. Alright, so bishop e2 is the second most played move here. I've mostly faced the other moves though. I mean, sometimes bishop e2. Castles is fine, But then... Okay, this has been played. Not with great success though. Bishop f5 straight up. If here, Then we take the pawn like we do. Yeah, fine. Okay, so we're following some games. Smagin versus Yakubov. Novelty. There, they went knight rook to open file. Not trying to win a pawn. I guess that would have also stopped the knight rook d6 stuff here. Did I see that in advance or after I moved rook e8? I can't remember anymore. Probably afterwards. Because I started probably panic at this moment, yeah. I did not see this when I moved this, yeah. I think. Alright, so white is just winning. Now he gives up the advantage. Should have played bishop d5. Going for the pawn here. Okay. Well, that is better, yeah. Can't defend the e-pawn. Alright, this is sad. Maybe here, yeah, it's the knight g5. It's not horrible, but maybe it's less like I should have just gone. But it's so useless here too. Not sure where I still should stick the knight to. Guess this is fine. White is just better all the time. Not now, I probably should have taken the draw though. This is always a mistake, this is always a mistake. And that's a blunder. And yeah, not gonna make a difference here, apparently. I was kind of hoping that we could get somewhere, but my pawn is here kind of like isolated. I think he's gonna just win it easily and I mean I can't get rid of that pawn. And well, if I somehow could get rid of all these pawns and then get in time to get here, sure. Maybe that would have been the best try though. Yeah, but I just can't. Can I go earlier? E5. But then I'm not supporting G5 anymore because the king is not here. And if I can't get rid of this, it's done. Yeah, yikes. Unless somehow this and like we would be doing well here. Apparently still not. Can he take this one? Okay, this would end in a draw. Now I'm in a good line to run to the corner here. And the bishop is the wrong color. Can't win this one. So he would have to have found some. Of course, he probably doesn't have to take here. He can just take here. Keep the bishop guarding this square. I might get rid of this pawn, but that's not enough. F pawn is too good. You can always sack the bishop here and just win with this and that and that. Yeah, I'm just gonna lose this. Okay, maybe some accuracy required. Like you don't go here and then, I don't know, instantly go for this and allow this only chance. But of course you can at any point throw like a f4 in or something. I guess still some accuracy required so you don't hang that pawn. And yeah, now you can go there and there. Eventually I probably run out of moves. And of course you can move the bishop here and win the pawn that way too. Yeah. Well, wouldn't make a difference, but neither did the end. I was completely busted here. I'm pretty sure at some point, like after he defended this pawn and the bishop here, just wins the game instantly too. So let's mate around. Mates all around. Yeah, not good. Well, oh well. So instead of knight g5, we just should keep the knight somewhere backwards and go hide with the king again. Not sure what the knight does on h6 though. Let's try to find out some kind of a more useful place for the knight. I'm still not sure like this is the good idea because of the queen here. Even though apparently we can play e3 and... But still, f3, queen c2. Okay, just about so with the mate threats we can save the knight. Fine. But yeah, I saw this pin at some point and decided that taking with the knight would be a bad idea. My king was probably in that line in there. Like I saw this and that. And now I don't have even a mate threat, right? This not, if the king is not here, this is not threatening anything. No check. Unpleasant. I can't push because of this. Or can I? How does this win? Queen g7. Okay, computer is repeating. What's your point? You just go here, take away this and that and keep this, and if I promote you say checkmate. Horrible. Almost disgusting. Yeah. For a small second, white was always winning or better. For a second I was here, I was better. But I should have found rook knight f3 anyways. And the point is that if we takes my knight, I'm threatening... Well, I'm threatening mate here. I suppose that is very hard to defend. Almost impossible. So he cannot touch my knight, I suppose. And if he can't touch my knight... I mean, this was not winning or anything. Well, it just makes black slightly better for a second here. Let's say he moves the queen somewhere around here. I don't know, is he still threatening to take the knight because the queen can't really cover the g2? But what's the follow-up here? I'm gonna ask the machine. Rook f8. Threatening nothing. Bishop b4. Knight h4 at least threatens something. Again, the computer gives this as a possibility, but really? You wanna get there? I guess the rook's hanging here, so that's pretty bad, but... Pop, pop, pop. I mean, here we are a pawn up. Just like in game, but we're not without losing a piece. Yikes. Anyways, thanks for watching. Until next time. Ciao.